Okay, so Husqvarna 335 XPT. I did some work without videotaping it. Got it started, got it running, it smokes a bunch. But big thing is it's not oiling the bar. So this port right here is the oil port, nothing's coming out. Definitely oil in here. So what I've read is that sometimes the oil pump gear goes bad. So what I did is I pulled the spark plug back here, did the old rope in the cylinder trick, and already off camera loosened the clutch. So for this one, there's no arrow. Usually most of these have an arrow pointing to off, but this one doesn't have an arrow. But it's going to rotate clockwise to get this off. So you have a saw like this clockwise to get it off. I.e. it's a left-handed thread on the crank shaft. So I couldn't find any videos about that, but that's what it is. So what comes off first is clutch. There comes out one piece. Parts. Then this is the, I don't know, call it clutch. I don't know, wheel, basket, I'm not sure the term. There's a washer in here. Goes in first, and then the needle bearing slides inside that shaft. So keep those parts in that order. Put those over here. So we'll lose that. Now, I want to check if this does rotate. This is the oil pump gear. I'm hoping that this may be stripped inside its plastic gear. It's supposed to be meant as the part that fails to save the rest of the pump. If this actual pump is bad, you got to pull the whole engine out of this thing. It's like taking the whole thing apart. So hopefully that's not the case. I'm not sure how to take this off. It just rotates, or does it actually just slide out? I guess it just slides out. Just trying to. Well, unfortunately the threads look pretty good on there. So that's not great news. I was hoping this was going to be stripped right here and therefore replace this part and we'll be back in business for pumping oil. I also saw a bunch of people writing how the oil lines get clogged. So that's maybe what I'll do next. See if this moves freely. Yeah, that spins pretty freely, and I see inside this hole, the oil port, that moves freely. So that's good news. Maybe it's just a clogged up port. And I'll figure out how to see if I can pour some kerosene into here or something. There is a little oil inside here that might be normal, or it could be the crankshaft seal leaking a little bit of oil. I'm not sure about that yet. This is the saw that I was hoping I was actually going to be keeping and using in any future work. Regardless, I gotta do a little reading about this. I'll turn the camera off and see what I can possibly do to get this thing cleaned out. Also, one thing of note is the oil adjuster for this saw is up top here. This one has say white nylon around here. I heard the ones with the blue were the bad ones from early production models. So this pretty much gets about, I don't know, 1.5, 2 turns total. So I'm about 1 turn out from in. Okay, so from what I've been reading is there's a way to possibly try and unclog if there's a clog inside the oil port. What you do is you take your oiler adjustment, bring that up, loosen it up quite a bit, bring it all the way up to here. That will allow, if you can see inside here, the gear that meshes in with the plastic gear. It allows that rod to move to the left. Okay, so that piston, I'll say, is over to this side more than it normally is. So what that should allow is this port to be unblocked by the tip of that piston. I'm going to take a small drill bit and just try and work it down in there, see if I can free up any clogged areas. So that's what I'm going to try and do right now. Hopefully in the end I can get that screw back down and push that back over. That'll be a big if. Okay, so what we have here is I pulled the oil pickup out of here, separated this little filter they have going on here. I'm going to try and spray some, I don't know, brake cleaner or something down in there, see if we can get oil to go through that to the other port. So hang on. Okay, so I think we have clear. See it coming out of there. So, well, that's good news, bad news. Maybe it wasn't clogged before, but there was clogged and I cleaned it out with the drill bit. Or it wasn't clogged, and whatever I'm doing here is not going to fix it, so we'll try. I found the culprit. Tried spraying through here and this seemed jammed up, so we will take a small drill bit. Oh, yeah, it's pretty plugged up in there. Maybe this is the problem. Something simple as this. Oh boy. Means I probably didn't have to take out that. Let's see. I'm just pushing that drill bit in there. We'll stick some brake cleaner. Still not going through. I'll work this a little bit off camera, see if we can get this cleared up. Okay, so this was plugged up pretty bad. I don't know if I pushed any of the junk that was plugged up into the end here or not. But we're gonna hook this back up, stick some oil in here, and then put it back together. See if it'll start spitting oil out of here. So this may have been as simple as this part being clogged up, which I probably should have checked first. But, as always, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so put that back in there, got that cleaned out. Now I have to get this gear back to this side, so I'm not sure if just adjusting this down will move that back over, or if I have to do something else to hold that over. Yeah, I'm going to have to somehow pry this little gear over while I tighten out. Okay, it doesn't seem the spring's too strong. Got to move a little bit there, using a dental pick here. Boy, I'll put it like that so gravity's helping me a little bit. Okay, I did manage to get it down here. I used this little pick right here and push down on it while I tighten the screw at the same time. Looks like it's sitting where it should be sitting right now. Spin freely. Okay. Down there. It's spin freely one direction, but not the other direction. So maybe that's how it's supposed to be. Playground, buddy?
That something was wrong about.
Okay, so we'll put this worm gear back in here. Just thread that to the right as it goes in, it'll lock it in. Now, this thing is spinning freely and we can look inside this hole. It looks like, yeah, the port is opening and closing. So, I believe we have this open. A mess here. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I just spin this thing and now there is fluid being pumped out of this port here. Just whatever's left in the line. So, that is good news. Hopefully I can get this oil in. It goes pumped a little bit there. Here comes some more if you see it. Okay, good. Go ahead and put the feller dogs back on here. Not feller, but the saw dogs. Let's see. Goes like that. This actually locks the top section into the anti-vibration, or the anti-vibration dampening spring. I removed it to get better access to this port up here. This bottom one has this saw catcher on it, or the chain catcher on it. So if you have a loose blade, it pops off. You want this to take the hit and not the engine case. So make sure this is in good shape. It's still there. You don't want to hit your chain when the chain is running, but you want it to catch the chain if it pops off. Otherwise, you can do some damage to other things that aren't so easy to fix. Okay, Next will be needle bearing. Make sure this piece interlocks with the oil pump plastic here. Get it fits in good. Goes in there. This right here says oil for some reason, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'll hit a little oil there later. Not really sure, but okay. So lefty tighty, left-hand thread. Okay. We'll get this tightened back on using the same rope trick. Okay, so what I do is I piston go down, bring it up some to close the exhaust port, and then stick this rope inside here. Okay, tight now. Take our scrunch, because that is the same size as this right here. And we'll go, sorry, backwards this way. Goofed. Now, it's back together. This is a key component. This right here is the actual rubber port that this goes over the oil port there and then forces the oil to come out right up here, which is the slot that actually interacts with the bar. So make sure that's clean. Stick this back on, make sure that rubber slides into its pocket. Okay. Of course, the bar will hold that spring on there. Worry about this air filter later. I just pulled it off to get access up here, but don't need it now. So put that back together. Okay. Now it's time to go out and give this a run. We're all together here enough to run it. Put some gas and oil in, and spark plug back in. We'll give it a go. Okay, once this bar is tightened down, it'll hold this rubber gasket in here to force the oil up here. So we're good, it's oiling. All right.